Hi everybody, this is Pramita here and welcome to my channel. So if you are new here, then welcome to my channel, and if you have already been here, then thank you for coming again. If you like this video, then please don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more of these kind of videos, then don't forget to subscribe, and if you have already subscribed, then thank you for your support. I also have all my social media and other links below in the description box, so if you want, you can check that too. So today we're going to be using some scrap papers to create pages or inserts or whatever you want to call them. So this is one that I've already done, and we're going to follow this these kind of scraps that I have, which are pretty big. I mean, lengthwise they can be anything. We're going to make different sizes, so I will show you. When you have strips like this, strips like these, you can make them into masterboards. Then there's nothing wrong to it, but I thought I'm going to create some narrow journal covers, which can go inside a signature also. I'll show you what I mean by that. So just a second. So let me get hold of one of those signatures, and then you can see what I mean. So this is one of the signatures that I'm talking about. What you can do is you can add them in the signature itself like this, okay, and then you have one sort of page that you have created, or you can use them as a cover itself. Now you can embellish on this side also. I have not done that yet because I'm not sure whether I'm going to put this as a use this as a cover, or whether I would want this to go inside an insert. So if it goes inside an insert, it is fully embellished, decorated kind of thing. So we're going to work on this. The concept is very easy and simple. Let me take this out, and we're going to go about doing that. So what you will require is like any sized scrap piece that basically can be not identically same, because this piece was not same as this. So cover is different. This is a kind of scrap ledger paper that I had. Printables, everything is printables over here. So what I did for this one was I took one of these strips. Now let me give you the exact measurement of this so you will have an idea, but these are actually cut-offs from creating traveler's notebooks out of collage sheets. So this is around 3.5 inches and 8 inches long. So 3.5 inches and 8 inches long is the perfect size to create something like this. This can be a standalone notebook, as I said. Some, you can create some for your happy meals, if you want to swap things, or you can keep them in your handbags or whatever. You can carry them around basically, and then you can, you can make it as raggedy, as scrappy as you want, or you can keep it like same size papers. So whatever. Now you can use cardstock. This is a cardstock, single-sided cardstock paper. You can use that also. It works perfectly. But I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to be using something other than those. I'm going to go totally with scraps initially, and then I'm going to show you what I mean by this. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the scraps and see what works best. I am basically going to choose longer and narrower strips so that they can be inserted into the journal itself, or they can be made use of as narrow journal covers or whatever. So this is a very good example. I'm going to keep this. I don't need this. These are not required right away. So you can see I have a mix of all sorts of papers, and I'm going to keep this in case I make a smallish one. This one, these are all rectangular, squarish kind of things. You can make use of them, but I will probably not be using these. As of now, I'm going to be using only rectangular pieces, but you can use any papers for that matter. So I will be making smaller ones also, and yeah. So let's, and this is a single sheet I have. This is again some strips. So we're going to pair things up basically with one neutral paper, and the other will be paper with some sort of image. Like if I choose this one, I'm going to pair this with another one like this, or some ledger paper, or probably some backgroundish kind of paper which doesn't have much going on basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to pair off the papers right away. So this is our prototype, and you can do it anyway, any themed, whatever. I only used scraps, whatever I had, and the brown border that you see is from Amazon packaging, and this one is from Pink Monarch, which is again I have layered on some Amazon packaging. And this paper is basically watercolor paper. Now why have I done that? I'll tell you why. Because if I choose to put this in a signature, what I can do is I can stencil on this, or I can stamp on this with distress oxide, and then I can spritz water on them. Then it will instantly have a very nice finish to it. We are going to do something like this in another part of this video, but for now I'm going to just show you the construction, how I did this, and then embellishing and putting different touches to it, we can do it in another video. Okay, so let's start by beginning pairing off the papers. Now we are going to do two, one a very narrow one, like this one, like this. Now if you want, you can just use any paper trimmer, cutter, whatever, but I'm just going to cut this out. Now these were actually a part of some kit from French Lemon Studio. She has reopened her shop, so if you want you can pop in and see. I don't think she has these anymore in her shop, but these were from way back. I have so many kits of hers. I absolutely love Sherry's artwork, so something draws me to it basically. So I'm going to be choosing whichever one is narrow. This one is pretty narrow, but I'll see if I can get something narrower. This one is narrow, but since just let me see. No. So let me see if I can make this one work. This one can work. Okay, so we're going to move everything aside. I'm just going to show the construction first, then I'll go off camera, or I'll put some music on and speed up the video and do some more covers, and then we'll come back to it. So this one can work because I can take off the extra bit, no worries. So what I can do is I'll just line this up. Okay, and I'm going to be, now you can keep it as it is, a regular cover sort of thing. That can be another type of journal cover, but personally I would go with this. So this is going to be a very narrow kind of cover. Okay, now this is not a very, even though they are saying that it's an artist series whatever, but it's not a very good quality watercolor paper. But what I like about this is that it is pretty sturdy, and it does the job well. It is a pretty sturdy paper, and it takes watercolor nicely, but it's not actually the artist grade quality. So this is I think 130 GSM, and it's pretty stiff because I think it's watercolor paper. It's pretty stiff, and once you lay these two down, it becomes pretty sturdy. So now what I'm going to do is I can put them like this, so this way I get to save paper, but I'm going to see if I can go through this. So if I want, I don't know, like I'm going to go with this, because when I tore this page from the block itself, somehow it got ripped at those edges, and which doesn't look too nice. So I'm going to go with this. So this is going to be my cover, the front part, and this is the back. Okay, so before I glue this, I'm just going to ink this a little bit, and then I'm going to go about doing that. So how is everybody doing? I'm fine. I'm trying to work as much as possible, as much as my health would permit, and I know people with you know, health issues will understand that, how difficult it is to keep on going about your daily routine. That's okay. Everybody has their own health issues after a point of time in life, so no use cribbing. And so what I can do is, now if you are more interested in creating layers, what you can do is, I'm not creating in this one, but you can obviously do that. So you can layer this on a craft paper, and then you can put that on the stiff kind of paper, whatever. So but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing this in an easy manner, very very easy way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be gluing this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this, and so you can use up a lot of your scraps in this way, and I found this pretty good, meaning it works fine, and it also can be used in different way. As I said, you can make it even into an accordion style journal also. So this one, now I have already layered this one. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of space. This is going to form our spine. Okay, so it's totally up to you how much you want the space to be, but I'm going to keep it at this. I don't think this is going to be more than 1 centimeter, or just let me tell you about the inch, 3/4 of an inch. I don't want more than that, because this obviously is not going to be a very chunky kind of journal. So, and I'm gluing this because I'm going to stitch this. Yes, that's the fun part. I need to clean my sewing machine a little bit. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to place this. So this is how the cover is looking. Now I'm going to take off text. Now I can't stitch right away. My machine is very temperamental. It's not going to allow me to do that. So I'll have to let this dry a little while, and while it's drying, I'm just going to take off this extra bit. Okay, so this is actually a cover. I know it sounds odd and it looks nothing like a journal cover. Trust me, it's going to be transformed once we fold this a little bit. So you can use your scraps in this way. You can make any size scraps as inserts. Basically, this can go inside your journal. Okay, So this can hold a little bit of sampler papers. Here you can add a pocket. It's totally up to you how you want to perceive this. You can keep it as it is, whatever. Let's see. Let this dry for a while, and then I'll be back after I have stitched around these pieces. Okay, so I'll be back after stitching and after this dries after a while. So I'm back. This glue has dried, and I've also stitched the panels, and I've inked up the edges. So now I'm going to create something of a focal point over here. So for the focal point, what I've decided is I'm going to go with this music paper. Just a second, let me get. Now you don't have to have a tear ruler for this, but I like to have one, but that doesn't mean you have to have that. So I'm going to be layering this on this. So basically I will guesstimate how much I need. This was just a music paper scrap I had. This is a printable from Tsunami Rose Designs. She has, I think, quite a lot of sets in her shop on printables, and when you're using printables, you can be, even if you mess up a little bit, you can just print them again. So what I'll do is I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to place this, and also I have this fabric piece that I want to lay on top of this music paper, and then I'm going to layer this. Okay, so I'll create a mini topper sort of thing for this, and then we will work on that. So basically I don't need this much, so I'm going to be cutting this out. Okay, and also I don't need this much, so I'm going to be keeping that to some other project. As you can see, these are all scraps that I'm using up. You don't need to have so this is an image, this is a free public domain image, and I have sized them in this way. So if you want to get the size, I can tell you this is around 1.5 inch, a little bit more than 1.5 inch by a little bit more than 2.5 inch. So 1.5 inch by 2.5 inch. So you can see what I mean by that. And then I'm going to be cutting this down. So I'm going to keep this for some other day and I'm going to be just going over my sewing machine. I'm using this image because this is a pretty narrow space that I'm working with, so I can't add too much, and I have not inked the top part much. So I will be adding probably some labels and stuff like that once I stitch this and I create a mini topper. So let me see if I can add anything else, but I don't want to mess this up too much. No. I'm going to place this over here. Yeah, so that way everybody gets to all the features are more or less visible. I can place it here, but I want to place it here because I want this pop of color, and also want to keep that I can put a small flower over here, some label over there, and then butterfly or something. So I'm just going to stitch this and show you the process of creating mini toppers, you can say. I can use something like this. Yeah, so this color just caught my eye, nothing else. So I'm just going to stitch this and be back to show you how it's looking. So this is how it's looking, and I'm not going to glue this right away. That's going to be at the final stage, probably that's going to come in the next video, so keep watching. And for the back, So since this is pretty long, what I planned on doing is I'm going to create 2 pockets. So these are actually printables from from Pink Monarch, and I'm going to be using these as pockets. So since I'm using this as pocket, I'm going to be making this a little bit sturdy and glue this on some scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to let this dry. So this is some random paper I have, and I'm going to be gluing this on this side. So I have another of these, because what I plan on doing is adding 2 pockets, one at the top and one at the bottom, because these pockets are going to be very narrow, and they won't be housing too many things, just mini tags or some scratch paper, some ephemera probably, things like that. So I don't want this to be too big. I mean, I don't need this to be too big, but I need this to be sturdy. So again, this glue, I think it's the heat that's doing this. So I'm going to be placing these side by side. If I feel, I can just turn this paper and make it a little bit more sturdy. I'm going to be placing this over here. Yeah, that's the best thing. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to end this part of the video, and for the next part you will see how I'm going to embellish this book, and also probably create some squarish kind of mini books in the same way. And I also need to see whether they have been glued properly, because I can't sew on them. Maybe I can, we'll see. First I have to let this dry. So this is for today, this much was possible, and then for the next part you'll see how I embellish these narrow booklet sort of thing, and create in the meantime I will be creating some more off camera, and then I'll share how you can use them, embellish them, or you can keep them as it is. It doesn't matter, you don't have to embellish them, but it's just that I want to keep in mind that probably I can use them as separate journals, narrow journals, or I can just slip them into the inserts. So that will be for the next part. Watch me complete this and make some, and you probably embellish some more of these kind of booklets. So keep watching, don't go anywhere, and if you have not subscribed, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you everybody, bye, have a great day.